Good afternoon. Happy Saturday, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and we are here with another Savage Saturday comic review, this time episode 71. And today we are bringing you a story from the pages of Kull and the Barbarians, issue number 3, cover art by Wayland. So a nice cover. You got Red Sonja, King Kull, and Solomon Kane right there. But the story we're reviewing from this book today is Red Sonja. So, like I said, we had a nice Michael Wayland cover, but inside I wanted to show you the frontispiece because that is a great Howard Chaykin Red Sonja frontispiece. Really nice. And I have a card set where this is one of the images and they colored it and it looks fantastic. And our story today is Red Sonja, She-Devil with a Sword. Alright, and we have a plot by Roy Thomas with a Doug Munch script, and of course Howard Chaykin art. So our story begins with Red Sonja making her way through the woods on the way to whatever her destination may be, and she hears these brigands, these robbers assaulting somebody, and you know there are words that just set her off. She's always a champion of the innocent. And she hears, let him have another then, but take care. Too deep and he will die too soon. So they know they're torturing somebody along with robbing them. And she can hear the sounds of pain. She can hear the guys laughing that are torturing the person. And it sets off everything inside Sonja that makes her want to protect the innocent. So she hurries to the scene, sees the guy strung up, and she sees the 3 would-be absconders, the robbers, right there assaulting him. And she gives them a fair warning to be away or else they'll have to deal with her. And she'll take their blood. But the 3 guys, one named Vartok, one named Bayard, and another one, I can't think of his name. They're not the smartest guys. They're cruel. They've lived by cruelty. They think they can get away with anything. And the one guy says that she's just a woman. Yeah, she can hold the sword, but what good could she be against the man with it? And she says, more than a woman, as you'll soon learn if you don't cut the wretch free. Before finding yourselves, cut down. You know, and Vartok is making fun of her. He's saying, she's a spirit that needs to be broke. And, Bayard is saying that, and this guy's kind of a creep, and he's drawn that way. Good facial expressions by Howard Chaykin. And he approaches Sonja. When he approaches her, he goes to lay his hand upon her because he says, look, we won't kill you right away. We're going to have our fun with you. You could even walk away with a few purses of gold if you just go along with it. And which is just making her blood boil. And she's kind of forgetting the guy in the back. She's just getting mad now. And he reaches for her, and she cuts his hand off swift, and it's gone. This guy that was going to be her assailant. This guy that had it better than her, and she couldn't do anything to him, and now is short of hand. The other guy rushes in, and she drives her sword straight through his gullet, right out his backside, and kills him. And all that on these first couple pages right here will give you a good look. And Sonja is already making quick work of these would-be robbers and torturers. So that leaves the third guy who was standing in the background and just takes off running. But Sonja sees this, and she's like, you there, making off like a Turanian jackrabbit. Given escape and but half the chance, you only come skulking back here in a company of a dozen more cutthroats. So what makes you think I'd give you the chance? And she hurls her sword at him. And right straight through his backside. And then she finally turns to the guy that's being assailed and being tortured and robbed. And she cannot believe her eyes. You, she says. And all of a sudden she starts flashing back to her childhood. To her father, her mother, her 2 younger brothers, and the life she lived there. With her father teaching her brothers how to fight. And Sonja not being allowed to because she was a girl and her mom didn't wish it. Her mom didn't even wish it for the boys. Her father, a retired soldier after losing half his leg in a war campaign. and leaving the family poor. And they're just living off the land. And her mom wants no more to do with war or soldiery, and therefore has forbid Sonya to learn. But Sonya is learning in secret, practicing in secret, still has trouble lifting the sword. And then a bunch of soldiers, a group of 3 soldiers arrive, and her father bids the family to go into the house, into the hut, while he talks with the soldiers. The soldiers recognize him, call him out by name, and, Bayard says, "Do you recognize me?" And Sonya's father says, "Hey, yes, you were my second in command when I was first in command." And Bayard's got kind of an evil look on his face, asks him to join in the army. Sonya's father assures him that he cannot, having lost half a leg. Bayard uses that as an excuse to accuse him of cowardice and drives him through in a spot and kills him. And after that, slaughters the mom and the 2 sons. And there's only Sonya left alive. Sonya, doing her best, picks up a sword, but not having the skill yet or the strength to wield it, is backhanded and put down, and then raped by Bayard. Bayard is just evil, having a cruel enjoyment of himself the whole time, and when he leaves, they set that place on fire. So, not thinking Sonya could escape, they just ride off. Sonya comes out, she just brought water in a bucket in the house. She douses herself with water, puts on a cloak, and escapes the fire. Once outside, though, she collapses in exhaustion. And then she has the vision of Skaithak, who comes forward and makes herself known to Sonya. It says, "Only now you discovered the inner strength you've always had. It was hidden in you before, but suffering and pain are bringing it to the forefront. I can enhance that, and I can help you get your revenge. All she asks is that you must make a vow. You must never allow yourself to be loved by another man unless he has defeated you in fair battle, something no man is like to do after this day." Sonya wholeheartedly and very eagerly agrees to that, saying, "Yes, yes, with all my heart, with all my soul, I do so vow." And as she's making this vow, Skaithak disappears, and one of the 3 brigands that was just there shows back up. He was circling back to see if she escaped, which he thought she might, because he wanted a piece of Sonya himself. He wanted to rape her as well as his commander did. So he was staying behind to try to get some of Sonya and just be cruel, as is his nature. Sonya, though, has already got her fighting spirit on, and you see the first inkling of her becoming the she-devil with a sword. Is right down here, you see her challenge him, and she's got her fire up, her rage up, and as he comes in, she just decimates him with her blade, and he just collapses in disbelief before he dies. So she says, "I suggest you take your protest to the gods," and she runs them through. And, and after he died, the man's face held a look of astonishment as he watched her rip the blade free, and as he died. But the sight of blood no longer sickened Sonya, nor did the feel of her first kill. Instead, she had felt exhilaration and fierce rage, which she shouted to the world in a loud voice of defiance. It was a voice which well suited her second vow of that dark day. And then we get to the last page of our story, where Sonya sees that the one guy she's been chasing for 5 years, there's no need to get revenge on him. He is almost dead and driven mad by the torture he had just suffered. And Sonya just throws back her head. She feels like crying for a moment and then throws back her head and has a good laugh at the fate that's befallen this fool. And she leaves him hung up there as she can hear the wolves approaching, drawn by the blood. And Sonya takes her leave as she hears the wolves close in on the body. And that is the end of that tale. A great little retelling of the Red Sonya origin and just the pain and suffering she faced to become who she is. And just really fun art with Howard Chaykin, who really depicts the different moods and anguishes that Sonya is going throughout on her face. And just found it really quite spectacular. So give this story an A plus, give the conclusion an A plus plus, and the art an A. Really fun time, really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And until next time, keep it casual.